Welcome to the Disney Parks Podcast with your hosts, Tony Casanova from DisneyByTheNumbers.com and Krista Joy from DisneyWays.com. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times. And get ready for the Disney Parks Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. We are so excited to have you today. We're going to cover some news about ticket price increases at Disney, updates on construction downtown Disney Orlando. We've got some Disneyland 60th anniversary news for you and a brand new baby at Animal Kingdom. But first, we want to introduce you to our very special listener guest. Take it away, Tony.
Hello, everyone. So a mutual friend of mine and our guest, who we'll introduce in a second, calls me up, maybe called me up or sent me an email and says, hey, I know this guy that I work with who also loves the Disney Parks podcast. Maybe we should have him on the show. And I said, we absolutely will have him on the show. So this week we have on our friend Bob, who lives in Georgia. And believe it or not, Bob has been to Disney four times this year, Bob, already?
4 times.
And we've only gotten to February. That's crazy.
Well, 4 times in a physical year that started last May.
Okay, so there we go. So, Bob, tell everybody maybe a little bit about yourself and how you got started with your Disney journey.
My wife and I have been married 39 years in May, and in 1976, Thanksgiving, she decided that we ought to go to Disney World, which at that time was just the Magic Kingdom, and I had never given any thought to Disney and didn't really want to go, and caught the bug. And we've been 41 times over 38 and a half years. So,
wow.
It's as soon as we get home, we're ready to go back.
That's my kind of Disney fan.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, Bob. Well, welcome to the show. Feel free to jump in while we do the news with anything you want to add, because hey, a third opinion is a better opinion, and it's not ours. So, I'm sure people will be interested.
Well, I really appreciate y'all inviting me on the show.
You're welcome.
Welcome. We're happy to have you.
Okay, so an interesting thing happened a couple weeks ago. We've kind of partnered up with Sorcerer Radio. We didn't really make a super big deal out of it yet, but we're going to, starting with this. We are now on Sorcerer Radio on Saturdays, and that will be typically not our news show, but our interview show. And maybe we'll do some other special things for Sorcerer Radio as well. So the name of the show on Sorcerer Radio is called Stars and Cars, presented by the Disney Parks Podcast. And you can go to srsounds.com on Saturday and listen to the Stars and Motor Cars on Sorcerer Radio at 6 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. And it joins right after Geek Out Saturday Night lineup with Rebel Force Radio and Mighty Marvel Giants. So you can listen to us there. It is another place that you can listen to our show. So if you don't catch our interview shows in the normal Disney Parks podcast stream, wherever you listen to, and you're a fan of Sorcerer Radio, you can now at least catch us over at Sorcerer Radio. We're glad to be part of that radio station and all the great things that they do. They play Disney music all day long, and I highly recommend going to check them out. They have tons of different ways that you can listen to it, whether it's in their app or TuneIn or Stitcher or Live 365. There's lots of ways to go listen to, and I highly recommend that you go over to srsounds.com, check them out, and maybe there's other Disney shows that you're missing that you can get over there. So go check them out.
And you know what else is super cool? They call us DJ Tony and DJ Krista Joy over there.
Well, it's a radio station, so we're now DJs.
That's my favorite.
I feel like I need to rap now.
I know. We need one of those turntables.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a bad rapper. But I will give you this, a little radio station thing. I used to, I still have a radio operator's license. I can operate a radio station. So
wow.
I will have to find my license and pull it out, dust it off, and post it. Just
there you have it.
For fun now.
Hey, Bob, have you ever listened to Sorcerer Radio?
Can I say that I have? I've heard it advertised or I'm seeing it on the internet, but I've never listened to it.
Also, what's going to end at the end of February is the second annual Disney Parks Podcast Survey. We highly recommend, if you have not done it, now is the chance, because at the end of the month it's going away. And along with it going away is your chance to win a $100 Disney gift card, brought to you by April from Magical Vacations by me. And you can find April at facebook.com/Magical Vacation by April. So if you need to plan a Disney trip, Bob, you can head over to Magical Vacations by April, and she can help book your trip. Also, go to the DisneyParksPodcast.com website, go to the blog, and you will see our survey right on that page, and fill it out, hit submit, and you too can win a gift card. All right, Krista, what else do we have going on?
All right. So next up, I just wanted to share with everybody about the Wine Walk. So a little hidden gem over in Epcot, they have an official activity. You can do this anytime, but we're very excited because we're going to be doing this as our Disney Parks Podcast Meetup, which is coming up on March 21st, by the way, at 7:30 p.m. We're going to meet over in Italy, and we're going to do this wine walk. So basically what you do, you go, we're going to start at Italy, and you pay like $20 plus tax, and that includes 6 2-ounce pours of wine in 3 countries. So it's a really good deal. You get to taste some, different kinds of wine and kind of walk around World Showcase and enjoy this beautiful weather that we're having. And also you get a little stamp in your passport for each pour. It's just kind of a fun new thing that we haven't done together yet. And, don't worry if you're not a wine person, it's totally fine. You can still come walk around with us, get a Coke or don't get anything, and just kind of socialize with us, walk around. Another fun thing too is they have a really nice little cheese plate that you can get any time of the year. It's $5, and we'll show you where you can get that in World Showcase. And again, this is available all year long. So we would love for you to come to our meetup. And we need a sponsor for this meetup. It can't be a travel agent this time. So if you or someone you love has a Disney related business and they want to work with us on this event or send us some giveaways, things like that, just go ahead and get in touch with me. Let me know, and we'll make that happen for them. So the Wine Walk is coming up. Exciting stuff. So Bob, have you ever heard of the Epcot Wine Walk before?
Can I say that I have? We tend to come in the September time frame and at Christmas for the candlelight processional. So haven't come at this time.
Okay, yeah, it's something that Epcot's been offering for a while, and it's year round, but we're finding a lot of people didn't really know about it. So kind of cool to, show everybody this hidden gem and hopefully enjoy that together. So it'll be cool.
I'm sure my daughter will enjoy it when we come down in April.
Yeah.
We're bringing her husband. It's his first trip to Disney World, so we really are excited and hoping that he catches the bug.
Wow. Yeah, you got to get him one of those little buttons so everybody knows it's his first visit and all that good stuff.
We need like a first-timer alert sound. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, he's into triathlon, so I'm hoping that he gets the bug and then he starts coming down for the different marathons that they have there in the park.
It's so fun to come with first-timers and show them everything. And
oh, yes.
So fun. That'll be great.
And now, Disney Parks Podcast News.
And then next up, the Wonderground Gallery is going to expand in the Marketplace Co-op at Downtown Disney Marketplace this March here in Orlando. So this is exciting. The flexible space location serves as a testing ground for new retail shop concepts, products, and guest experiences. So it's really perfect for this. Shortly after it opened in June 2014, they added a small fixture that featured products from the Wonderground Gallery at Downtown Disney District in California. And today, Disney is excited to announce that the Wonderground Gallery will be expanding here in Orlando beginning in early March of 2015. So this is a fun little new thing we can visit. It'd be good. Yeah. Now, Bob, do you get into the Disney art at all? Do you have some at your house?
No. Well, we've got not what you call art pieces, more souvenirs in the form of like a Disney Mickey Mouse cookie jar and things like that we've got around the house, but no real art. Didn't saving my money to stay in the park, not take home from the park.
Right.
Probably a good choice.
I like that.
Yeah, considering my house is just the opposite of that, probably. Okay. In sad news, Disney decided to raise their ticket prices yet again. So as I go through these prices, the first number I say will be the adult price. The second number I mention will be for the child price, which is, I think now, ages 9 and up. So the Magic Kingdom has gone up to $105 per day for an adult and $99 for a child. The one-day Epcot or Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom is now $97 a day for an adult and $91 for a child. A one-day Magic Your Way Park Hopper ticket is $155 and $149. The one-day Magic Your Way Park Hopper Fun and More ticket is $169 and $163. And the one-day Your Way Park Hopper and Water Park Fun and More ticket is $195 and $195. Now, there's two interesting things that happened with these ticket changes. One is the no expiration option is no longer an option. So you can't buy, because I know people that used to do this, they used to buy a 10-day ticket and then just use a couple days and then come back. And it was like having a mini annual pass, but not having to pay for the annual pass. And that option is now off the table. So if you buy a 10-day, you're unfortunately going to have to use all 10 days during a visit. The other thing which is interesting, and I think this may be kind of good for a lot of families now. Guests that buy a one-day water park ticket will now be able to visit both water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, on the same day if they wish to, when they buy both the water park, when both the water parks are open. So this doesn't apply to the water park and Fun More option, but it applies to if you just buy a single water day park ticket. If you've ever said to yourself, hey, it's too crowded over here at Blizzard Beach, I wish I could have gone to Typhoon Lagoon, guess what? Get back in your car, soaking wet, and drive over to Typhoon Lagoon, and now you can go see both water parks in one day. I think that's a fun extra additive. I'm sure a lot of people have thought to do that. One water park was crowded, and they wish they went to the other one.
Yeah, and you've got your favorite rides in both parks, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I think that's I kind of like that. It's really park hopping now. Now you can do all 4 parks and both water parks. That's a lot of parks.
I think that's a pretty neat feature. I'm really sad about doing away with the no expiration, because I think it made coming to Disney a more affordable opportunity for folks, so that they could spend 3-4 days this year and a few days next year and a few days the year after that, and be able to come down multiple times. So I'm really sad to hear that that's going away.
Yeah,
I think that'll hurt worse than the higher single-day ticket.
So I have a question for all the listeners. Here's my question. How much does a ticket have to cost before you go, you know what, I'm not going to Disney anymore? Or maybe I'm not going for a long time until I can figure this out, because, ticket prices are creeping up. We're now talking about, the Magic Kingdom being $105. Is $150 too much for a one-day ticket for an adult? Is $200, $300? What's the breaking point? You can email us at DisneyParksPodcast@gmail.com. You can go to Facebook.com/Disney Park Podcast. However you want to send us in your breaking point. I'd love to hear what people have to say, because I think we're going to start seeing some interesting changes in people's Disney travel plans based on ticket prices now into the triple digit.
Yeah, possibly. Someone made a really good point, though, as the concerts cost a lot of money now. Like, it's $80 if you want to go to a 2-3 hour, concert with live music. So if you look at it that way, at least you're getting a full day of entertainment. If you go from open to close, it makes this thing a little bit less, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's going to hurt is I have grandkids now. And so it's not just myself and my wife coming, but often we want to bring our daughter, her husband, and 3 grandsons. And when you're paying over $100 a ticket, that's $1,000 right there before you've done anything but walk in the door. So.
Yeah.
I think Tony's right that if there's not a way to reduce the cost, I think a lot of families are going to have alternative source places to go.
Yeah. So I think that's right. I think what people are going to do, if they do come down for a week, they may not go to every park on every visit. I think they may start to find things to do in and around their resorts. I think they may find cheaper alternatives on iDrive, and I think that's why iDrive is going through this revitalization, with the Sea Life, Madame Tussauds, the Orlando Eye, and all the other things they're putting up on iDrive, because, you know what? That only costs $35, and I could be there all day, and it's not going to cost me $105. And $105 does not include any meals. So either you're going to leave the park and go back to your resort and eat in your DVC, or go back to your vacation villa outside the park and eat for less, because a family of 4 is $10 a person for lunch. That's $40, and then another $40 if you stay in the park. So that's $80 just for lunch and dinners. I think people are going to come up with alternatives to hitting every park every day on every trip. So we'll see. Yeah. Like we said, we'd love to hear from you all, and send us your comments and your thoughts, because we are not the we live here. We're locals. But I think you all have a better idea of your travel plans.
Speaking of food, we love to talk about food here on the Disney Parks podcast. We want to let everybody know that March 4th through May 17th, 2015 this year is coming the Flower and Garden Festival, or as we like to call it, Flower and Food. It's going to be here before we know it. And we've got a finalized list of your outdoor kitchens and what each one is going to have, in case you want to kind of plan your menu and your tasting and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to kind of run through these really quick. The first one that they've got is a new seafood ceviche outdoor kitchen. So with that one, you're looking at things like a coconut tres leche. That sounds interesting. White corn arepe, cachapa con queso. Then there's the Urban Farm Eats, and that one has a kale salad, which Bob Gurr would probably really enjoy. That's his favorite thing. And then they have ghost pepper dusted tilapia and a crispin blackberry pear cider. And those are just some of the things they'll have there. The next one's the pineapple promenade. And for this one, you can look for a spicy hot dog with pineapple chutney. Sounds interesting. And they've got a pineapple soft serve with Sammy's Beach Bar Redhead macadamia nut flavored rum. Or you can get Parrot Bay coconut rum instead. So we're talking about the Dole Whip with the rum again this year at that one, which is always really popular. And then the frozen dessert violet lemonade. So those are fun. And then there's another one for, it's called Jardín de Fiestas. And this one's going to have Mexican chocolate custard, a Mexican sangria, and a tequila flight. So that'll be fun. And then Lotus House, which is going to be plum wine like they have every year. That's one of my favorite things. They're going to bring back the oolong peach bubble tea, vegetable spring rolls, kung pao chicken bun, all that good stuff. Florida Fresh is going to bring back the watermelon salad. They will have shrimp and stone ground grits again this year. A key lime sparkling wine. That sounds interesting. And a beer flight. And then next up is the Primavera Kitchen. And with this one, there's frozen Italian Primavera, Pinot Grigio, cheese manicotti, pinwheel of mozzarella. That sounds interesting. And then another one that's going to be the espresso coffee and pastries at the American Adventure. So with this one, you're looking at an iced Bailey's latte with Bailey's Irish cream liqueur and milk and espresso over ice. They're also going to have a chocolate stout at this booth. Next is the Smokehouse barbecue and brews. So bringing back that pulled pig slider. That's always a really good one. They'll have a maple bacon stout this year. I don't remember that from years past. Sweet tea made with Twinnings cold brewed English classic tea. So you can go to the Smokehouse and get sweet tea this year. Hanami, which is going to be, they're going to have a wine slush there this year. I think they've had that before. Teriyaki curry bun, salmon sushi, good stuff like that. Taste of Marrakesh has the mint iced tea again, the falafel pocket with cucumber tomato salad. Chicken kebab. That sounds fun. And then last but not least, the Fleur de Lis, which they will have a Parisian-style dumpling with vegetables and mushrooms, a pulled duck confit with garlic and parsley potatoes, large strawberry marshmallow macaroon. That sounds awesome. So these are just like some of the items. There's tons more. Excited to try some of the newer ones and go back and have some old favorites. I can't believe it's time for Flower and Garden already. It's just crazy.
I'm looking forward to that watermelon salad because they were supposed to have that last year at Food and Wine, or maybe even the year before. Mm-hmm. No, it was the year before. And it never showed up.
Yeah.
I thought it was delicious. And that was actually at the Tables in Wonderland preview that I had first seen that. And they had given us the recipe. And I went home and actually made that salad and then wanted to go back and try their version, and it never showed up. So maybe it'll show up this year. At Flower and Garden, Flower and Food.
Do y'all like to come during Flower and Food, Bob?
That's why we're coming this year, because my son-in-law works for a good-sized landscape company up in Boston area. We're really hoping that he enjoys the Flower and Garden, because whereas I'm not into the gardening, we're really expecting him to go around and tell us about all the different exhibits and so forth. And we've been down there one time before, and it was nice, but I think having him there is going to be much more interesting.
Yeah.
He's going to want to stop by the, what do they call it, the festival center, talk to some of the experts as well.
Well, like I said, we're hoping he catches the bug this year. So
it's going to be a blast. And the Garden Rocks series is coming back. They're going to have concerts, the topiary displays and gardens, all of that good stuff is coming back. It's going to be fun. It's going to be beautiful. And then when they take the flowers away, I always feel a little bit sad. But while they're here, it's great.
Did you see?
Yeah, we're coming down. I was just going to say we're kind of sad that we're going to miss the village people.
Oh
yeah.
Well, my daughter was in the YMCA here, and so both daughters really enjoyed the dancing to that song.
Right. Right.
That's awesome.
They, I think they had pictures of, or little preview pictures of the Anna and Elsa topiaries. I think they should have made them out of ice and not flowers, but that's me.
Right.
Really? Right? I mean, come on. Should have made like ice sculptures and put them in, a little frozen tent somewhere. I think that would have been better than having them made out of flowers.
I think you're right.
Yeah. We'll see. And they don't always listen to my ideas, Bob.
I could have had a little frozen area, and you go through and it'd be chilled, and give you a little respite from the temperature, the heat.
Now you're talking. That would have been great.
Exactly.
Well, a couple of really quick announcements. As you may have seen, we have started a blog and we are looking for contributors. All you have to do is email us at disneyparkspodcast@gmail.com if you might be interested in writing up a little paragraph or two. And you get to link to your own blog or travel agent site at the bottom in your little bio. So definitely, if you're looking to reach a Disney audience with your message, send us a note and we may go ahead and post your guest blog over on the website. And then next up, March 15th is coming, and it's just a few days left for you to get tickets to come and see Robbie Sherman. So he's coming from 12 to 3 for brunch. There's going to be a cash bar available. The event's going to be at Howl at the Moon on iDrive, and Robbie's going to sing and perform for us. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. So this event, the tickets are only $50, and you can just send me a message if you need some help getting tickets, or if you need the address or anything, let me know. Just a few days left to get tickets to come in for this beautiful, wonderful, intimate event with Robbie Sherman. I am just beside myself excited. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
It should be fun. I know Robbie's also bringing the book that he edited for his father. I can't think of the title off of my head.
It's called Moose.
That's
and
right.
they'll be available for purchase, and he'll sign them for you while you're there.
That's right. Okay, I was at Downtown Disney, or Disney Springs, as we probably should be calling it, because it's getting pretty converted now. And in the old Pleasure Island area, a few stores have now opened up in the new shopping area. I think that's really kind of part of the landing, I believe. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stores that opened up. So the Art of Shaving, which is a boutique that retails high-end shaving supplies and grooming things for the man. This is like a man cave at Disney Springs, okay?
Yeah.
But I have to say, I was in there, and it's a very nice place. It is, mannish. Men, you should stop by. They have lots of great things. A little bit pricey, I would say. I would say it is on the high end. But one of the things I found that was interesting is they have a barber/spa services there. I did not expect this. So you can get a royal shave for $55, and that would be a 45-minute experience. You can get a traditional shave, which is $35, and that'll be a 30-minute experience. You can get a haircut for $40, which would be a 30-minute experience. A head shave, and I don't think they mean cutting all your hair off. I think they're talking about, maybe they are. Maybe, you keep
I would imagine they are. It's very fashionable.
Yeah, maybe you like having a bowling ball on your head, and that'll cost you $35, and that'll be a 30-minute experience. Or you could get a beard and mustache trim for $35, and that is a 20-minute experience. Now, if you've never done a single edge, straight edge shave, this is what that experience is. Now, I can tell you from my experience, if your barber has a lot of coffee, this could be a problem. You may leave with all of your face, or maybe not so much of your face. They say they're experienced people. I would ask for credentials. The next store right near here is called Apex by Sunglass Hut, and this is its first-of-a-kind sunglass store that was built with athletes in mind. And it's really more than athletes. They have name brand sunglasses in there, and I can't think of the brand of the sunglass off the top of my head. But there is one sunglass brand in there that you can completely customize, and they will build the complete customized sunglass right there in front of you. They have all the different arms and all different colors with all the different nose pieces, all different colors. So if you want a really customized pair of sunglasses in whatever color you choose with different kinds of lenses and different kinds of tints on them, this is the place to go. And they were not really overpriced. They seemed to be pretty reasonably priced. The next store was the Chappelle Hats, and this is the fashion-forward shop that specializes in assortment for hats for guests of all ages. It's not a very big store. They had a great selection. They had men's hats, women's hats, kids' hats, all kinds of hats, and not I'm not talking like baseball hats. I'm talking about, maybe beach hats and sun hats and Indiana Jones hats and fedoras and straw hats and cowboy hats and all kind of hats that you would not find in typical Disney stores. A little on the pricey side, I think, but go check them out. Another place was Havana's, which is a Brazilian-based shoe store that offers fashionable flip-flops made from high-quality rubber. Now, the interesting thing about this store, too, is they will make for you, right in front of you, a custom flip-flop. You choose the bottom, you choose the kind of straps and what kind of colors you want it in, all that kind of thing, and they will build a custom flip-flop right in front of your little eyes. There's also Sanuk, this is a shoe store, again, that kind of also sells flip-flops, and it's like right next to the other flip-flop store. It's like crazy. It's like flip-flop to flip-flop. I don't know why they did that. They should have put these stores on different ends of the area, but they didn't. Next up is Soundline, which is a new retail concept that offers the latest technologies in headphones, docking stations, and wireless music players and other products. So if you forgot your music docking station or a charger or headphones or any Bluetooth speakers or any of those kinds of things at home, run over to Soundline and you can pick up something there. NYC Bakery is coming back. It's called Erin McKenna Bakery NYC, and it will have all of your vegan and gluten-free bakery items. And I heard they opened up this past Sunday, so if you have not been over there, stop by. They are open again, and they are right near Raglan Road. I think this is really looking up, Krista. I can't wait to see all the other shops that they put in.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see all the construction being finished up, and I can hear some in the background now, actually. It's going to be great.
Yeah, also the other thing they did is there's the bridge. They opened up that walkway. It goes from, right where Legoland is. Legoland. Yeah, it goes from Legoland and Maitland.
Art of Animation, right?
No, from the Lego store over to oh my God, I'm losing my head tonight. Rainforest Cafe, right? Yeah. Rainforest Cafe. So it cuts across the water, which is kind of great because now you don't have to walk all the way around anymore. You can just take this little walkway. And there are little shops on that walkway, too, in case you're bored and you don't get enough places to shop. There are some stores there that you can shop your way across the walkway.
Could I ask a quick question?
Sure.
How's the parking and the traffic now? Because when we were there last September, we didn't even try going in December, but when we were there last September, traffic was just absolutely horrible in the area of downtown Disney, and we ended up taking the bus to get there because there just wasn't nowhere to park.
Yeah, the traffic it's still kind of crazy. Lake Buena Vista Road, their avenue, is a mess. If you do come in from like Hotel Boulevard and then go into the parking garage, if you can, do it that way. If you're staying on property, I highly recommend just take the bus. I know it's painful, but that's the thing to do. I cheated. I was having dinner at Boat Rides that night, so I had gone to Port Orleans Riverside, parked there, and then took the boat over to downtown Disney, and then went to Boat Rides for dinner that night. So I kind of cheated, but that really is the best method too. Or even Saratoga Springs, park at Saratoga, and you can take the boat or walk over, depending on where you park over there. But do not really try to drive. It is still kind of crazy.
Yeah, the parking garage is really cool, though. It's definitely helped some things out. So we just got to get used to using it and all that good stuff. But it's neat.
Yeah, I have heard that they did turn on the parking system, too. But I don't know if that's going to stay on or if that was just a test. We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So over on the West Coast, we got some Disneyland news for you from Randy. Don't forget to check out Randy at faithinthemagickingdom.com. Thank you, Randy, for sending this over. Disneyland has announced that they are bringing back the Mad Tea Party. So this is the popular nighttime dance party that will begin again on May 22nd. The return will coincide with the start of the Disneyland Diamond 60th anniversary celebration. The Mad Tea Party began in June of 2012 to help promote the theatrical release of Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. and it went on hiatus this past December to make way for Frozen Fun. Also, Disneyland has raised ticket prices as of Sunday, February 22nd. Disneyland's last ticket price increase came in May of 2014, which was only 9 months ago. And at that time, the SoCal annual passport was eliminated for new purchases, though pass holders who already had the pass at the time could continue to renew it. The other surprise is that parking is no longer available, and as an add-on to the new deluxe passports, lower. So you can't get it as an add-on either anymore. It's included with premium and premier passports only. So he says, however, if you currently have parking added onto your non-premium or premier passport, you can keep it, but only for as long as you renew. And then a couple of quick events coming up at the Osceola Library on March 9th at 7 p.m. The Celebration Writers Group is going to have a special author visit. Bob Sellinger will address aspiring authors and share experiences on how to become a successful author and how to get your book published. So that'll be fun. And then all the other authors will also be in attendance. March 11th is Wonderful World of Disney Authors, again at the Osceola Library. And the presentation will include all the authors except Lynn Testa, and they're going to be speaking to us, Disney enthusiasts, followed by a traditional photo op, book signing, and question and answer time. So this is some fun stuff at the Osceola Library. Tony and I are looking forward to meeting some of these authors and mingling and just having some fun. And if you can come out, we hope to see you as well.
It should be a good time. Hey, Bob, have you ever been to Disneyland?
We've never made that trip. I guess we need to do that for our 40th.
Yes.
There you go.
So I guess I better start saving up then. That's only one more year.
You will really love Disneyland.
It's a lot different. It's awesome.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I have this vision that it's so much smaller, and when you're used to the bigness of Walt Disney World, I just get a little nervous that I'm going to get out there and it's going to all be all squished together.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller. It's definitely a lot less walking.
Yes.
That's for sure. But if you appreciate the history and just knowing that this is where Walt walked, and it is very much to me like being in a time capsule. It's just a beautiful, clean park, but at the same time, some of the stuff is very 50s and very kitschy and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's very good. I like it.
So then last but not least, we wanted to tell you about the new baby. So earlier this month, a white rhino, also a first-time mom born at Disney's Animal Kingdom in 2005, gave birth to a healthy baby boy. So the new baby's grandmother was also born at the park and regularly roams the savannas of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And that means that this new calf is a third-generation white rhino born at Animal Kingdom. So the new mom is being appropriately protective of her baby, but the animal care team has been keeping up with mother and child to assure that both are thriving. So I am ready to go and see this new little baby rhinoceros. That's awesome.
It'll probably only be out there 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
The rest of the time it'll be in the air conditioning care of some veterinarian in the back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now, the Disney Parks Podcast Infotainment segment.
And this week we're going to talk about some old attractions, and if we could bring them back, what we would change to possibly plus them or make them better, or what would we do to make these things maybe more interesting? Chris, did you want to start with one of yours?
Sure. So something I thought of was, how about a Tangled attraction? Something similar to the Little Mermaid attraction, like a dark ride. And I'm just imagining the finale scene with the lanterns floating around you. And I just think it would be a super popular ride and lots of fun. And I know, Bob, you've got a favorite one that you would love to see come back too, right?
Yes, I'd love to see the original Journey into Imagination. The Dream Finder, it was such a original and creative ride, and I felt that the new version just doesn't do justice to the whole Figment concept. Also kind of miss Timekeeper. It would be nice if somehow see Timekeeper again. Wasn't a big fan of Nine-Out, but Robin Williams did an awesome job as the Timekeeper.
Yeah, that would be great to have back. And have Robin Williams' voice still. That would be...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it without Robin Williams.
Yeah, he made that ride, well, it's not a ride, but the show so entertaining, and really enjoy it. I like the current location they have there with monsters, but the Timekeeper, I miss Robin Williams in that ride, in that show.
Yeah. The first one on my list is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. In Disney World here in Florida, it opened on October 14th, 1971. It closed on September 5th, 1994. And I think what I would do with this is I would make the submarines bigger. I think they need to be maybe 2 levels so you can fit more guests on it. And maybe the submarine would actually go out into the Seven Seas Lagoon or even out into Bay Lake, and really make it a full-on, submarine kind of adventure.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, they could have like ships trying to drop bombs on it, and have like the explosion of water. I really think that in today's technology, they could really make something cool with a submarine ride now. At any Disney park, I don't think it has to be around this little lagoon. That only takes 2 minutes. I think they can make a really cool ride. Or attraction, whatever word you want to put there. We'll see maybe they'll bring back submarines, maybe they won't.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So, do you guys remember If You Had Wings?
Oh, God.
Wings had wings.
Once you get that song in your mind, you cannot get it out once you got in there.
Yeah, it's sort of like Small World. It just kind of stays with you, right?
Without being as charming as Small World. At least yes. Small World is kind of cute in its own little way. Did you like that ride?
Well, it's one I have memories of. So this one, if you recall, was sponsored by what was the official Disney airline, Eastern Airlines, and this opened back in June of 1972. It was like a 4.5 Omnimover ride, and of course now it's been transformed into Buzz Lightyear, which is probably a lot better, a lot more fun for most people, but it was a wonderful attraction, and I have a picture of both of my sisters standing in front of it in these bell-bottom outfits. One of my oldest sister used to work there and run the ride and stuff, so just funny. I don't know. If You Had Wings, I remember that one pretty well.
It was good. It's one of the first things I went on my 1976 trip was that, because we went down Main Street, and after we went down Main Street, we did the typical tourist thing. We made a right-hand turn into Tomorrowland. The first thing was If You Had Wings, Had Wings. And
you and Bob were there for your first time in the same year, 1976.
Yep, Thanksgiving of 76. My very first ride was Space Mountain. Got off the ride and said, "Let's go home." Luckily, my wife talked me out of it, and we've been back many, many times since. I'd never been on a real roller coaster like that before, and I was not up for it, not at all.
Now, were you surprised that it was in the dark as well?
Oh, I think that's what made it even worse, is being in the dark, not having the clue as to what was coming. But then again, if I had known what was coming, I might have had a heart attack. So it still is not my favorite ride. I'll ride it, but I'd much rather be on Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
I miss Sky Bucket.
Well, that's next on my list.
Mm-hmm.
So that opened in 71, Bob, and then closed in November 10th, 1999. But if I were to bring this back, I would make it like transportation. You could ride it, say from the TTC to the Magic Kingdom. You could ride it from the Magic Kingdom, main area, maybe to one of the resorts like Fort Wilderness or to Wilderness Lodge. I think they can use this thing as transportation. Even in the Animal Kingdom, take you from the parking lot to maybe somewhere in the back of the park.
Hey, can you imagine going over the safari lands
in a bucket
with one of those buckets?
Yeah, and I think
I was just going to say, one of the things we always did is at the end of the day, usually our last day, we would ride and you could see the lights and everything of the park below you, and it just really provided sort of a signature moment for our trip.
Yeah. And today they don't have to be open like they are. They could be like, a little enclosed, air-conditioned capsule kind of thing. Because I think Disney worries about, A, people falling out, B, people throwing stuff on other people, which is stupid. But I think in today's world they can do something where they can kind of enclose it. And they obviously would have to air condition if it's going to be in Florida. Otherwise, people would just melt in there. But I think it could almost be its own like mode of transportation. And I think I had heard Walt say in a TV show or taping that it kind of gave you, this was in Disneyland, it gave you an aerial view of the park and what you could expect. You don't get that today. There's no... the closest thing you get to that is riding the monorail in Epcot when it goes, into the park, and it kind of gives you that quick preview of the park, and then takes you back out to the entrance, and you're like, hey, could I get off over there in the middle of the park? I think something like this could come back, and it could be done right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another one that went away but was kind of cool is the Animal Kingdom riverboats. So this was an opening day attraction. Do you remember this?
I remember them being there, but it wasn't operating. We were in the park.
Okay,
It was right at the very beginning of when the park first opened.
It was, and
seemed like the ride was down bad.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess apparently, they meant it to be kind of just for transportation, but people were wanting to get on it and experience something like a Jungle Cruise experience, and they were getting disappointed, and the lines were really long, and for whatever reason, they closed it down. Even though it was an opening day attraction, they tried to spruce it up in 1999 by retheming it as a Radio Disney cruise, which featured Radio Disney DJ voices broadcasting from on top of the Tree of Life, but that also didn't last very long. The boats closed permanently just a few months later in August of '99. But I think that would be wonderful to have Animal Kingdom riverboats. I don't know. I kind of wish they would bring that back.
Yeah, I think they can. They should bring them back because I think they need that extra movement now around that park. Now that they're going to expand it, I think it's almost like the train ride at the Magic Kingdom. It can take people to 3 different points in the park, and I think the Animal Kingdom, being a very large park, could use something like that to move people around to the different points of the park. So.
Good point. Does that waterway go all the way around so it touches the different lands?
I have to look at a map, but I think so.
It did. Yeah. Let me find that out. I'll get back to you.
Yeah. So while Chris is looking at that, the boats that they used for that are now used over the Magic Kingdom. Sometimes when the park is busy, they'll use those over. If you're leaving the Magic Kingdom, it'll take you to either Polynesian or the Grand Floridian. So rather than using those smaller little boats, they'll sometimes use these larger boats to move more people, which is a good idea.
Found a map where Discovery River does go all the way around.
Yes. Yeah, so apparently you could board the boat in Asia, and then it would go around Discovery Island and back again. Pretty neat.
That would be a nice ride.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you take the Jungle Cruise, not so much for the show, but for just the peace and quiet, relaxing on the water.
Yes, totally. I think you're next, Tony.
Okay. The last item on my list is the backstage tour. This opened on May 1st, 1989, and it closed on September 27th, 2014, just recently. And if I were to bring this back, I would bring back the really original version of this, the full-on backstage tour. And I'd even add, I think people have an interest now in how movies are made. And with technology comes more innovation and more different ways that movies are made. Even on the Oscars, they were talking about, like, say, I'll give an example of the movie Birdman, where a lot of the scenes were shot in one continuous single shot. So it was maybe a scene that lasted 12 minutes, and they shot it all in one shot. There was no takes, no cuts, and it was done like that. And there's a lot of things that are being done with movies today that I think people would be interested in seeing. All these different techniques. How does a green screen work? And I think they even had something like that back in the day, where you used to get to do the weather with Al Roker or something, I believe. You could have it, whether it's a vehicle or a walking tour, and bring in, a lot of the other departments of how a movie is made. There's costuming, there's set design, there's production, there's editing, there's sound editing. Like Sounds Dangerous, incorporate that into that backstage tour. And hey, you are Disney, and you did make TV shows there. Why don't you make TVs and movie shows down there again? And I bet people would pay extra to see a real TV show being made or a movie being made. If it's being done down there and it's a real working studio, I think people would pay a little bit extra and say, like Behind the Scenes tour, you pay a little bit extra for that. I think people would do that if they were actually maybe making TV shows and movies in the Hollywood studio.
I think you're right, because when we first went, that's what they had.
Yeah.
It was how they made movies, and it showed you the sets, and it just was educational. It was a long tour, though.
Yeah, it was a very long tour.
It was educational.
And it even, at Christmas time, that's where you went to see the Osborne Lights was on.
Oh, yes.
On the streets of America, and it was all the different houses, and you kind of walked through this area, and each house had like its own themed music. I remember like one house was an Elvis house, and they had like kind of crazy lights and Elvis music, and each house was kind of themed, and it was kind of fun to watch. I guess it's not possible. That area has been consumed by something else, and we know that other things are happening in the studio, and I don't think bringing the backstage tour back is on that list of things that's going to come back. But I really think that they should think about this, because I think more and more people want to know how things are done and how things are made, and have that interest in that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Krista, do you have any others?
Well, the only thing I wanted to mention, and it's not really bringing something back, but everybody needs to be on the lookout for Star Wars Land in Hollywood Studios, because it's pretty much confirmed that that it's coming. So watch for Star Wars Land. From what I understand, they're waiting for some of the new movies to come out to see how well they do, so that they can incorporate some of the new stuff from the new movies, if they do really well, into some of the attractions. But it should be super fun, and they're trying to make it their answer to Harry Potter. So that's kind of some big shoes to fill. It'll be exciting to see what the future holds for Star Wars Land, but it's probably coming. So there you have it.
Yeah, if you have not seen pictures of the non-existent hat, it's really just a halo on some brackets now. That is all that's left. It's just a matter of time before it comes down completely. Yep, it'll be fun. I've heard within the next couple of months that Echo Lake, which is that small lake there by the Prime Time, and Bill's Dockside, and Gertie, the ice cream store, is going to be filled in. I don't have absolute 100% confirmation, but that's the grumblings I'm hearing from several cast member peoples.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that too, that it's going to be turned into Mos Eisley.
Yeah. It's going to be turned into something. And water is not what it's going to be.
Yeah.
They will pump it out and fill it in. It's probably only a foot deep as far as we know. We could probably walk across it if we had to.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice, relaxing place to sit. From time to time, we would go over into that area, and just having a water treatment
yes.
was nice.
We agree with you, Bob, 100%. But if you're sitting, you're not spending money.
That's true.
And
but on the upside, the sorcerer's hat is gone.
That's true. And if that,
I never liked it.
And if that's not making money, it's also then time for that to go as well. I don't know if those pins made any money underneath it, but probably not enough.
Well, Bob, we just want to thank you for coming on the show. Did we have other stuff to share, Tony, or are we wrapping it up?
I think we're done.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bob, for coming on. We appreciate it. Really appreciate you listening to the show. We couldn't have a show without our listeners. So thank you so much. And thanks for coming on with us today. It was a pleasure having you.
Well, I very much enjoyed it. I appreciate what y'all do because it adds to the enjoyment when you go to the park, when you have some backstory to understand how things are functioning and so forth. So it makes you feel like you're part of the inside secret.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. That's what we're trying to do. So thank you so much. And everybody, thanks for listening. We appreciate you, and we will see you in the parks.
Hi, I'm Tony.
And I'm Krista. Tune into our show, Stars and Motor Cars, Saturday afternoons at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sorcerer Radio.
Every week, you'll hear us chat with Disney legends, Imagineers, and actors like Pat Carroll, the voice of Ursula.
And I help?
Yes, I do.
Disney legend and Imagineer Bob Gurr.
Pedro Hare, the voice of Belle.
Beast. Disney Resort TV's Stacey J. Oswald.
And author Ridley Pearson.
And Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy.
Something wrong here.
And so many more. You'll also hear your favorite Disney Parks Parade music.
Follow us on Twitter at Disney Podcaster and on Facebook.com/Disney Parks Podcast.
To get even more Disney fun, download our sister show, the Disney Parks Podcast, on iTunes. Tune in to Stars and Motor Cars, presented by the Disney Parks Podcast, Saturday afternoons at 6 p.m. Eastern,
3 p.m. Pacific, only on Sorcerer Radio.
SRSounds.com.
The Disney Parks Podcast is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company. All Disney parks, attractions, lands, shows, event names, etc. are registered trademarks of the Walt Disney Company.
Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through.